Kawhi Leonard withdrew from USA Olympic team and will not be making his Olympic debut after all. At the fourth day of training camp practice with the team, he said that his surgically repaired right knee was at a neutral state, and he was hopeful it remained that way. But it did not. So in consultation with Team USA and the Clippers, Leonard has withdrawn from the Paris Olympics so he can concentrate on getting his knee healthy for the next season. With Leonard out of the picture, Team USA moved fast to name Derrick White as his replacement. White is one of the best 30 players in the NBA right now. While he's never made an All-Star, he drew serious consideration last season. The Celtics would not have won a title without White fulfilling the role of overqualified glue guy on their team. On the surface, that would make him a terrific replacement for Kawhi. But delve deeper, one thing becomes clear. White was the wrong choice. And here's why. White's defense won't be as impactful in international play. White has made a living fitting into any situation, but this is unlike his previous stops for a couple of different reasons. His defense is not going to be as useful in this type of international setting. While he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA and has made 2 consecutive all-defensive teams, the international game is much different from the NBA. Team USA has underachieved in previous international tournaments because they have not adjusted for the increased importance of size. Offensive rebounding is a much larger part of FIBA rules, including no offensive goaltending and a smaller court where play is more congested. Team USA finished 4th in last summer's World Cup because of that inability to match up with bigger teams. White is a good rebounder, but he does get targeted on defense by bigger players. At just 6'4", 190 pounds, he doesn't have the strength to guard up in position. Compounding this problem for Team USA is that Steph Curry is likely going to start and play a lot of minutes. Curry is also undersized and has issues defending bigger guards. If Team USA was going to bring another guard on the roster, they should have gone with one that is more switchable. Alex Caruso is a similar player to White, for example, but Caruso regularly guards power forwards in the NBA. White is redundant on this team, though no fault of his own, because the Team USA will now have half of the roster filled with guards. He will be the 6th one added to a squad that can take only 12 players to France. The only forwards on the team are LeBron, KD, who is battling a minor injury, and Jason Tatum. There are 3 centers as well: Embiid, Bam, and AD. International play features only 5 fouls before players foul out of a game, instead of the 6 in the NBA. Team USA will not only be short on big men, but there will be less margin for error if any of them gets into foul trouble. That is going to be even more important because many of USA's opponents have some very big front courts. Another thing is, putting White on Team USA isn't totally fair to the Celtics, as the Olympics roster already features Tatum and Holiday. Boston played the longest of any team into the postseason, and now it will put even more miles on their bodies before having a chance to defend the title. The Celtics face even more challenges because they will be holding an early training camp. There will be some tired Celtics when the playoffs roll around next year. Ultimately, it was White's choice to agree and accept the invitation. He earned that due to his fantastic play over the past few seasons. Though for his benefits, the selection committee should have taken that decision out of his hands. So if replacing Kawhi with White seems like a mistake, who should have replaced him anyway? There was a more outside-the-box selection on the table. The story of previous practice for Team USA was about 17-year-old Cooper Flagg, Duke incoming freshman, the projected #1 pick in next year's draft, and the former #1 recruit in the 2024 recruiting cycle by 247 Sports, has put on an impressive performance versus the NBA stars. Flagg has not only shown that he belongs in a group of some of the greatest players on the planet in one room, but proved to be one of the best players on the USA select team. Multiple clips of Flagg went viral, which included him knocking down threes, hitting a step-back jumper, and racing down the middle of the lane to finish in and one putback. An amateur on Team USA in the Olympics wouldn't have been unprecedented. After his senior season at Duke, Christian Laettner was a member of the 1992 Dream Team, the first team to feature NBA players. Anthony Davis was picked to join the 2012 Olympic roster after an impressive one-and-done season at Kentucky. If Flagg were picked, there would have been no pressure on him to play significant minutes. There would be a strong chance he barely saw the floor, but if Flagg were added to the roster, it would give basketball fans a glimpse into one of the most highly anticipated incoming college players in years. Flagg would have certainly been an outlier selection. The national team has never featured a player fresh out of high school, but Flagg should have been the exception because we haven't seen a player of his caliber heading to the college ranks in quite some time. He is among the few players who generated this amount of hype before stepping on the floor to play a single minute of college basketball. Had Flagg been the pick to replace Leonard, it could have given basketball fans around the world a small taste of why he could be the best player in the sport.